Sweets are finally free. Patience lost, I began to lose me. My advice would be take a breath. Close your eyes and take a step. I wasn't scared, I fought this on my own. You pulled me down and I let you go. I told you I would prove you wrong. And now I'm here and I'm standing strong. Day one, I said I go for me. One box tick, got a lot to be. I wasn't scared, I fought this on my own. You pulled me down and I let you go. I told you I would prove you wrong. And now I'm here and I'm standing strong. I know that I ain't got far to go. 'Cause I spent forever waiting, and it's no longer a dream. And now I'm landing on my feet, and I ain't got far to go.
So fun. Thanks for letting that music play for so long. I was like, we can just have a dance party all together. And I think that would be fine. Also, if you do want to like listen to some of our step up songs, you can find, we have a really great playlist on Spotify, and you can be like me and keep the camp career steps party going all day. But I'm Sophia. We'll be here right now. I'm Sophia. I'm the director of Next Step Up, and I'm so honored to welcome you to Career Steps with Capital Group. I'd like to kick off this event by taking a moment to acknowledge and thanking you all for joining us today. I'd also like to recognize all of you who are experiencing Step Up for the first time today or this week. Welcome, welcome. We've loved to see your faces. Give us a hello in the chat and tell us your team color and what you're most excited to gain from today's session. We look forward to continuing to getting to know you. Today is the last day of Career Steps. I cannot believe it. It's been so fun seeing all of you show up and show out all week, and seeing your beautiful faces and learning about new career opportunities with you. The theme for today is Team Spirit Day. So I hope you all on the Hot Pink team are representing, and all of you are representing for your teams too. I feel like I'm like a little genie in my little hot pink bathroom or something. Don't forget that there will be a prize for the teen and the Next Step Upper with the most points individually, and the team with the most points collectively at the end of Career Steps. You can win by attending sessions like you are right now, engaging during the sessions, showing off your team spirit, of course, networking with mentors on LinkedIn, and joining us on discussion boards in the app. We're also giving bonus points for any Instagram posts you create and tag Step Up with. So get on Instagram and show your career steps pride through IG. Also, be sure to update your camp counselor with the number of mentor connections you've made by 9 a.m. tomorrow, so we can get all the points tallied up and you can get your points. They can't give you an accurate amount of points if you don't tell them how many connections you've made. So also, we're going to keep reminding you all through the session, but be sure to know any mentors' names you see so you can connect with them on LinkedIn. Okay, and Margot, do you want to share some friendly reminders?
Yes, so we first would love everyone to take a moment and adjust their display name if you haven't already, to reflect 3 things, and that's your name, your role, and the pronouns you use. And you can look at the screen to see what I mean. It's especially important to put down your role. So either mentor, teen, NSU if you're a next step upper, or staff. And that way we can sort you into the right breakout groups later on. And we'd also love to ask that everyone who is able to turn on your cameras to please do so. Even though we're not physically in person, we love to create that feeling, and it supports us in creating an intimate, safe, and brave space for everyone. And all participants' mics will be on mute until we go into our breakout sessions. So feel free and please do add your positive comments and reactions into the chat box, and you can find that at the bottom of your screen. And if you need support with anything at all throughout the event, please message Sierra staff She in the chat, and she'll be sure to help you out.
Thanks, Anne Margot. Our Career Step series is an exciting opportunity for our young people to get an inside look into various roles, industries, and companies they're interested in exploring. Our goal is for you all to express your voice among your peers and mentors and increase your beliefs in your personal ability to shape your own path. You all will connect with, listen to, and learn from company experts in order to build knowledge of life paths and professional opportunities available, and increase your knowledge about Capital Group. So we're so grateful to be able to partner with Capital Group today to take a deeper look at the dynamic career paths available. Before we do that, let's take a quick look at today's agenda. So we're going to start with a fun game of this or that, a fun icebreaker game. Then our special guest speakers from Capital Group will tell us more about life at Capital Group and share their career journeys with us. Then we'll head into our breakout rooms for some small group mentoring and networking. And we'll close the session with reflections and share some upcoming announcements. Mentors, your role is to model participation by having your cameras on, being present, engaging in the chat, sharing knowledge of various roles within this industry, and providing guidance on how our young people can be successful in their early career steps during the mentorship breakout session. Once again, reminder to our campers to be sure to note all mentors' names during the session so you can find them on LinkedIn or our mentorship app later. I'm going to pass to Jess Mara to lead us through this or that.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jess Mara, and I'm the manager for Next Step Up and the camp counselor for the Gold Team, going for the Gold Team. So let's get into our quick icebreaker. Through this icebreaker, we want you to learn more about yourself and what you like so you can discover what career opportunities suit you best. We are going to be playing a game of this or that. This icebreaker will help you see if you work better with people one-on-one or better with people in groups. I will go through 4 slides of this or that questions and tell us in the chat if you picked A or B. And then remember to keep track of how many A's or B's you have, okay? So here we go. Question number 1. Do you like communicating in person or on the phone better, or making presentations? Seeing a lot of A's. I love making PowerPoints. That's a rare skill these days, but I love that too. Depends, definitely a little bit of both sometimes. I'm seeing a nice balance. That's good. Both. Okay, all right, let's go to question 2. Do you like referring people or helping people connect, or guiding a group discussion? Lots of A's. I'm seeing a little both again, some B's. Definitely gets to have a balance. Awesome. I'm loving the self-awareness that you can be both, and having both skills are very important. Awesome. Question number 3. Would you rather imagine and create new ideas or train and design events? I would say I'm definitely both on that. I love planning events. Seeing lots of B's, lots of people with me there. Okay, Okay, now let's move on to our last question. Do you like gathering information by observing things or taking the lead by being a pioneer? Right off the bat, seeing lots of A's. Now I'm seeing a few B's, more both, loving that balance. All right, guys, so great work. I love seeing all of your different answers. And so if you chose mostly A's, then you work best with people one-on-one. And if you chose mostly B's, then you work best in groups. And I know we had a lot of both, so you work best both ways. Knowing this about yourself will help you determine where your strengths lie and where you thrive, which will guide you into choosing a career. Now I'll hand it back over to Sophia.
Thanks, Jasmira. I love the self-awareness, and I've been loving these icebreakers too. You all are so smart and so skilled, and I cannot wait to continue to watch you on your journey to success. Okay, I'm thrilled to welcome Capital Group, and thank you about you and your journeys. So joining us, we have to start Bianca, who is a senior charitable giving business partner at Capital Group. She will be telling us more about what Capital Group does and giving us a quick company overview. And then we will hear more from some more people, a panel of people about their career journeys. And so that moderating that panel will be Tracy, who is a website author for Capital's technical marketing team. And then sharing their career is a journey manager for Capital Group Canada, Angela, a senior writer at Capital Group, and Bria, who serves as a experiential marketing specialist on the NACG marketing events team. Let's give their mentors from Capital Group a really warm welcome in the chat. And now I will pass the virtual mic to Bianca so we can all learn more about Capital Group.
Perfect. Thank you so much. On behalf of the team from Capital, just a big thank you for having us. We're really excited to be here and to meet with all of you. So I will launch right in. We can go to the first slide. So I am going to talk about what Capital Group is and what we do. So we are one of the largest independent investment management firms. We are based in Los Angeles, and we were founded in Los Angeles in 1931. We're a privately held company. We have just about $2 trillion under management, assets under management, and we serve a little over 50 million investors. So if we move on to the next slide, here you can see where we have offices. So we have offices in North America, across the US and Canada, in Europe, Asia, and Australia. And then on to the next slide. So this slide here shows who we serve. So these are our clients. We serve individual investors, financial advisors and intermediaries, institutions and consultants, high net worth individuals and families, and insurance companies. For the next slide. And then here, I'll spend just a little bit of time. So our mission is sort of simple for an investment management firm, but it's to improve people's lives through successful investing. And our vision is to be the investment manager of choice for our investors and those who serve them. And then I think I have one more slide. So these are, with our mission, our vision, and our values, those really set the tone for the culture at Capital. So on the slide here, we have 8 core values, and those include integrity, respect for individuals, long-term focus, collaboration, accountability, rigorous analysis, consistency, and humility. And so, these come across in a lot of different ways from our associates. Every associate interprets these differently, but again, these are the way that we build culture, we shape culture, and make sure that Capital is a great place to work for our associates. I know I went through that quickly. I don't know if there's time for questions or if we just move right along, but either works great.
Tracy, we are going to pass it over to you and welcome you to introduce all of our panelists and get started with our panel discussion. So let's all give a warm welcome in the chat for our Capital Group panelists and speakers.
Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm Tracy DeFreitas and I work as a web author on our websites here at Capital Group. And our panelists today they are Laura Inikapi, and I apologize, Laura, if I did that wrong, Angela Shaw, and Bria Richardson. Sorry, okay, thought I lost my mic. So we'll start out. We have some questions to ask of the panelists, and I guess I'll start with Laura. Laura, if you can talk with us and let us know what your role encompasses and what your key responsibilities are.
First of all, thank you so much to the StepUp team and everybody who's attending. I'm so happy to be here with everyone. As Tracy mentioned, and as you saw on the screen, I'm a journey manager. A lot of you may not know what that role is. It's okay, because neither did I, less than like 3 years ago. It's a relatively new role within the digital marketing environment. Coming out of university, I was trying to figure out where I fit within the digital marketing space and just overall marketing. I know I really like the creative part of it, but on the other side, I was really into the technology. So understanding how do you run a campaign? What are the different technical components of campaigns and websites and the different channels that speak to our audiences? So voila, I started out in as a retail banking I'm based in Canada. I forgot to mention that. So I'm based in Toronto. So I started out at Scotiabank, and then worked at TD, worked at multiple banks, and then realized that, you know, I really enjoyed the client and technology fusion of marketing. So I ended up working as a journey manager. The journey manager, in very small and not going into detail yet, but I pretty much overlook and oversee all of the digital touch points that we have, the communication that clients get. So whether that be through our website, through our different mobile applications, through email, and through just overall campaigns. So I'm that point of contact with everybody that is needed in order to make a campaign come to life. So it's a mixture of a project manager, a campaign manager, and also a UX UI designer. So it encompasses all of those different areas of marketing that I love. I'm looking forward to getting a bit deeper in as your questions come in, but that's just a bit of an overview of what it is. So hope that was cleared.
Can you explain just a little bit about what a campaign is?
Of course. So a campaign is anything that our customers, that our clients or advisors in this sense receive. So a campaign could be, we are launching a new product. That could be a new fund, a new ETF. When I was working in retail banking, it could be a launch of a new credit card or a mortgage product. So a campaign could be anything as short as 3 months. Anything could be, a campaign could be an always on, where you have that from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And a campaign could run in different channels. So you could have a campaign only running in social. So that would be everything that we know, from Instagram to Facebook to LinkedIn to now TikTok, which is one of my favorite. Love TikTok. Great form of marketing. So that could be a full campaign, or we could just have a campaign that goes only on our website. So we utilize different channels, but a full-on omni-channel campaign is where we have every single channel that we have to our disposal to advertise and talk about our campaigns. The campaigns could be driven by awareness, by acquisition, or by conversion. So depending on your campaign type, then that will tell us which channels we should use, depending on what channels convert the most. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Laura. Bria, will you let us know, tell us about experiential marketing and what that encompasses?
Yeah, thanks, Tracy. Super excited to be here. My name's Bria, and I'm an experiential marketing specialist at Capital Group. And what an experiential marketer specialist is a fancy term for events. And just to sum it up, it's the new buzzword everybody likes to use, experiential marketing. But yeah, it's eventually and essentially an events planner. And I'm responsible for planning events for what we call our NACG marketing. I sit on our NACG marketing events team, and I am planning those advisor forums, which are just the events that we do for our financial advisors, educating them on new products, new services, new offerings that we might have.
Bria, will you talk to us how you got here on this journey? Because you have a very unusual background coming into the finance world.
Yeah, sure. So I've been, like Tracy said, I've been in Capital Group only for about 10 months now. And my background actually was in sports. And so was born and raised in Los Angeles, was a former professional women's basketball player. So I went to Pepperdine University on a basketball scholarship. Then from there, I went to play professional basketball in Germany. And of course, right, as a former athlete, I'm like, oh, I'll be a coach after. And so I tried coaching right after I was done playing pro ball, and realized that I didn't really want to be a coach, but I loved planning camps. So when you were a coach in college, you're also responsible for the summer basketball camps. And I really enjoyed that experience. And from there, that led me to, I ended up becoming an academic coordinator, because timing matters, as I'm sure you'll start to learn when we go into some of these breakout discussions and you hear from others. But timing matters, and they had an academic coordinator role open up at Pepperdine. So I was working with the men's and women's basketball team, planning their studies, and then also doing some student athlete development programming. So for the students to learn about how to study, how better time management skills. And I really enjoyed just this planning piece. So from there, I ended up meeting my manager for my last role, who was in experiential marketing. And she was like, I let her know my strengths, the things I was interested in, which is collaborating, project managing, being creative, and that's all that goes into planning events as an event planner. And she was like, hey, have you ever heard of experiential marketing, which I had never heard at the time. And that led me to get into the events world. And fast forward 10 months from now, 10 years back, I joined Capital doing events here.
I think that's a great story, Bria. It really shows that you're never locked into one thing. As you grow and change as a young woman, you can do something completely different from what you started out to do. Our last panelist is Angela Shaw. And Angela, I'll let you introduce herself. Angela is a writer on the Capital marketing team.
Hello. Yes, I'm glad to be here. I write for a website called Practice Lab, which is basically geared toward financial advisors. And I'm sure a lot of you might know financial advisors. They kind of work with their clients, with people, to help them with any financial goals they have. So if they want to buy a house, if they want to save for their kids' educations, obviously Capital Group, we sell investment funds. And so we try to help them help their clients. So on Practice Lab, we write articles like, here's how to help your clients decide how they can donate money. Here's a charitable roadmap. Or here, and we help advisors decide, you know what, I really like working with this kind of client instead of this kind of client. So how can I orient my practice, my firm, to serve those clients? So we kind of provide them like third-party research and insight to help them grow their business, help their clients in different ways, and that sort of thing. So I joined Capital just actually 3 years ago. I am based in LA, and I moved to LA for this opportunity. I don't know, Tracy, if you want me to get into my background, but I got into this.
Tell us about your background as a professional writer for news organizations.
I'm not as cool as Bria, unfortunately. I didn't want to go after her. I was like, no. I used to be a journalist, and I worked all over. I worked all over the world, covering a lot of business news, which is why I became of interest to Capital. I have that business news background. I understand the way the business world works, the way investments work, and so I've kind of pivoted. Instead of writing for general news audiences, I now write for a very specific financial advisory audience on behalf of Capital. But the key of my sort of through line of my career is the writing. And I managed to pivot later in my career toward this one.
That's great. Yeah, Angela's traveled the world in her writing career for different organizations. Thank you all.
Thank you to all of our panelists. Let's thank them one more time from Capital Group. So let's continue to our learning in our breakout sessions. In a moment, you will be invited to join a breakout room where you'll get to network with our friends at Capital Group. This is the time to get all of your questions asked. Your mentors are here for you, so be sure to take advantage. Feel free to ask questions you may have or from the questions that we provide in the chat. Your Step Up staff will guide you through these breakout sessions, and then we'll come back and share out as a whole group, as we always do. All right, so we'll see you guys in about 15 minutes. Hello, everyone. I got us so excited. I forgot to keep track of time, and we were mid-conversation, as I'm sure all of you were. I hope you had a great time in your breakout sessions. So now we're at the time where we are going to share out what we learned. And so because I know I can always depend on Ashley and I did not pick someone, Ashley, can you share out for our group? Thank you.
So for our group, our mentors were Laura and Susana. One thing that I did learn was that no matter what, you always want to take opportunities because those opportunities can lead you to greater connections in the future. Even if it's out of your comfort zone, they advise that we take it that way in the future. We can be very well prepared with connections and we can perhaps have jobs already because of those connections. And I also, I'm hoping I did understand what investment meant. I asked what investment was, the concept behind of it. And they basically explained, from what I understood, it was like how you invest your money to hopefully double it or triple it. And I think that what they do is they advise someone who speaks with their client on how they should invest their money and if that investment will be worth it in the future. And that's what we learned in our group.
Thank you, Ashley. That was beautifully put. We all learned a lot in our group, definitely. All right, breakout room number 2. Do we have a representative?
I also forgot to pick one, but wondering if anyone from my group, so Akshita, Gloria, or yes.
Okay, so our mentors were Miss Angela, Miss Birdie, and Miss Agnes. So the main thing that we're talking about is that jobs are not just about what is being done, but who you're doing it with. And that's one connection I realized through all the company mentorships. It's all about the company's culture and how they interact with each other. So workplaces are lifted by communal interaction. Also, I learned that both Miss Brady and Miss Agnes lacked prior knowledge in finances, but they were able to adapt within their workplace because of the community and the culture. And one last thing would be that Miss Agnes also shared that being a great leader is about community and having the ability to be empathetic and genuine with your people. So yeah.
Also beautifully said. Is it Messiah?
Messiah.
Messiah. Okay, I want to make sure I say it right. Thank you so much, Messiah. All right, breakout room number 3.
Christine, you want to share for our group?
So our mentors in our breakout room was Ingrid, Bria, and Bianca. I asked a question about sort of the challenges that they all face because they do have different roles. And for example, Ingrid is a project manager at Capital Group, and she starts and finishes projects that come out of marketing and does a lot of social posts, like pages, and things like that, so that everything could get launched on time. And one of the main challenges I would say in her role is to, there's a lot on her plate, and then she has to manage the different tasks, and also just try not to feel overwhelmed, because I feel like if we do that, we were gonna get burnout and things like that, and that's something that probably everyone doesn't want to go through because it's so mentally draining. And her recommendation is to try to calm down and think about the priorities so that you could figure out what you can manage at that time. And something that I also learned is that another step to take from right now, Bianca mentioned, is the things that we're doing right now here in this meeting, exposure to different industries and different companies, because in my opinion, I really did not know about the whole Capital Group. I really did not know that this was a thing and the type of opportunities there are. So I think it's really important for us to continue doing these type of things.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Christine. And I think we have one more group.
We do. That was my group. So Pritika, you want to take us home?
Hi, so our mentors were Miss Tracy, Miss Ariel, and Miss Sandy. So we first talked about like what like capital groups like job is. So if I understood it right, correct me if I'm wrong, but like the investors, they first go to like the financial advisors, and then they recommend to capital group, and that's what the marketing team is there to like entice potential advisors. And actually I didn't really know about that, so that was really insightful for me. And then we went into more of like the individual jobs. So Miss Tracy and Miss Ariel are more into like the marketing sector, and Miss Sammy is a solutions engineer. So they are kind of like in different sectors, so we learned more about that. And then one thing that we learned more about the culture about Capital Group is that there's something called rotationals, where you can, like Miss Tracy talked about, it's like where you move and like experience with a new team, and you know that gives you more like room for growth and learning within the company. So I found that very interesting. And then we ended with the overall culture of Capital Group as like open to diversity and community. And so it was really interesting to learn like not just more about like the jobs, but also more about how the day-to-day environment is of Capital Group. So thank you to our mentors.
Thank you, Pritka. Beautifully, beautifully said. Thank you so much. And I also just want to point everybody's attention to our chat. We have 2 really great resources that our mentors shared. Something else that we talked about in my group was that there's a wealth of information online right now, but some of it is misinformation. And so Miss Laura gave us a suggestion of an app that helps to teach money management skills, and put that in the chat. So make sure we download the app. I love a good app. And Bria as well put another a show that she watches that I think you talked about in your group. So make sure to look at the chat, guys. We got a lot of gems in there. Thank you again so much to all of our mentors. I had a great time in our group. So now we're going to go into our poll questions. These are just for our teens and next step uppers. While they are answering these poll questions for our mentors, if you could just drop your LinkedIn into the chat just one more time so that our girls can find you. All right, so for teens and next step uppers, our first question: after this session, how much more do you know about possible opportunities for you at Capital Group? All right, and for poll number 2, in which ways did the mentors, both the speakers and small group mentors, maximize your experience in this session? And this is a multiple choice question, so you can select all that apply. All right, thank you so much. And I'm going to turn it over to Zoe for some announcements.
Hi, guys. So got some announcements for you. So thank you for all joining today's session with Capital Group. They have graciously offered to give all of you an attendance gift today. So you'll be receiving a notebook from Capital Group. How exciting. Step Up will connect with Capital Group to get those mailed for you. And so can we thank Capital Group in the chat? Awesome. And now on to our announcements. Career Steps has been so much fun. We are so glad you guys have joined us all this week, but we have more in store for you. So remember, there's always another way to earn points for your team. Be sure to join us on our Step Up Mentorship app. If you join the app and or comment on a discussion board, you'll get some points for your team. It is the last day, so every point counts. Also, mentors, you can join the app to connect as well. It is a great tool to connect with other mentors and mentees. So if you have not yet downloaded the app, there is a link in the chat on how to create an account. Awesome. And so we invite you to join us in 15 minutes at 1 p.m. Pacific time or 4 p.m. Eastern time for our next session with Visible. It is our last session of Career Steps this week. And then also remember that you can reference your welcome packet or contact your camp counselor for any more information you might need.
Thank you, Zoe. All right, and that's a wrap, folks. So thank you so much to our amazing friends and mentors at Capital Group. Teens and Next Step Uppers, if you would like to continue to chat with us, we'll be having our 15 minutes after informal chat, so feel free to stay on. And as always, thank you for choosing to be here with us today and being a part of Step Up. Your engagement always inspires us. Thank you again to Capital Group.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. It was really wonderful.